Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 2 of the Inspiration Station, and today I have Emily Zeck, aka the Pineapple Girl.
Woo-hoo.
She's been a friend for years, actually a very long time. You've known me, and I've known you for, let's call it 7 years?
No, like
8 years?
possibly longer.
So close to a decade, which is a very long time.
I just turned 16.
So you've watched the full evolution of my life and vice versa. So my fiance instructed me to broaden the horizons of the Inspiration Station, and she said that we needed a female. So I immediately put you on the list.
The manliest girl you could find. It's the next best thing.
Which is like the most absurd thing half the people have heard this are ever going to hear in their life. But no, you are a pretty impressive person, and you've done a lot of stuff. How old are you now?
25. Whoa, sorry. How to think
Do you
about
get
it?
to think about it?
Oops.
So Emily is 25 years old. I don't even know how to begin to describe what you do. So without too much context or detail, who are you, Emily?
I would say to the public eye, I am an Instagram influencer. I, surf, and I just do like hot girl shit all day long.
Got
which
it.
Is what
I like that.
That's the public eye, Emily.
So that's the public eye. So what else? Let's get into the more work side. So what would you say you do for work?
I would say I specialize in marketing and advertising and music.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole big picture, is a lot of what people see like 20% of my life, and it's the 20% that I choose to share on Instagram, which is everything that I think will benefit marketing. So it's super high highs, lows that are relatable only, and things that I know are perfectly in the right amount of controversial.
For sure. Well, it seems strategic, but it seems like you know what you're doing. From my perspective, I do enjoy watching your stuff.
Thank you.
You are one of the people, seriously, you're one of the few people that I actually like fall into. Like, I actually watch your stuff from a viewing point. A lot of my friends, I feel bad for them, but I'm just so tailored to curating content and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching.
Skip right past.
Well, stop it. No, but it's different. But you are one of those people that I'm actually entertained by, and I watch your stuff and consume it, and it's very, very entertaining.
Thank you.
There's only a few people. My buddy Ben Gravy, same thing. I find myself literally watching his stuff, which is a good thing. That's the goal.
Right, yeah. To capture and to have people consume what you're putting out.
Which is a changing goal and topic and approach. And the way we do things and curate content is always changing. So I have a few things. First one is social media. There's like a few topics in here. So social media is a huge, huge, huge part of your life.
Yes.
Huge part of my life, huge part of everybody's life, to be honest. So with that, I know it comes with highs and lows.
Absolutely.
Goods and bads, pros and cons, the obvious and then the not so obvious. So before we get started, I'm going to kill this fan right here because I was wondering what that humming was, and it is that.
Oh wow, that made a huge difference.
Dude, I'm so sorry, guys. The first 5 minutes, this is gonna be like, bong. Okay.
It's a calming noise.
It is calming.
I'm gonna ditch my phone too. Sorry, guys.
Bong.
There we go.
All right. So this, and again, these are a lot of personal questions, which is cool because. Again, I've known you for almost a decade, and this has shown me I don't know very much about you. And in a good way, this is awesome because I get to actually dive in. So, what is it like moderating so many different accounts with different levels of expectations, and you put completely different stuff out?
Right.
What is that like? Just on the whole, like.
I mean, it's a full-time job, for sure, because. Not only is it a full-time job creating the content, curating it, you have to keep up with the trends because social media is such an ever-changing thing that we consume every second of the day. Even if you're consuming it for personal enjoyment, but a lot of people get their news from Twitter. They get recipes from Instagram. You get new music from TikTok. TikTok is the new music platform.
For sure.
It's social media, but I would say every song on the top 10 charts right now is popular on TikTok. Just because that's how it works now.
Something to put in, like I would play music that I liked that I'd use in edits from TikTok, and people would call them TikTok songs.
Yeah, I mean they are. It sucks because if you're an artist, that kind of, you feel like it cheapens your work, because now you're known as like a TikTok.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting how TikTok has evolved very quickly, and like something just like that, your song becomes TikTok song.
Oh, and overnight you could make $1 million. You know, it's wonderful. Everything has its pros and cons.
For sure.
And to be honest, when you're working in the entertainment industry, and I would consider social media the entertainment industry. If you have a platform, you are entertaining people.
Yeah.
Whether you're giving them facts, recipes, new music, comedy, fashion, anything, you are there for their entertainment. And so you have to think like an entertainer, and you have to have that mindset that whatever you get branded as, like if you hate it so much, then change it. But sometimes roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Like I was branded as the girl for a while. The first video of mine that ever went viral, I was dancing to Bust Down Thotiana. And I was doing this dance like Tina Belcher.
Yo, I was going to say, I was like, please tell me it's that video.
Yeah, that was the one that went viral first, which is fine. But then I was known as the puking dog girl because somebody made a tweet about it and just captured that like 2 seconds and captioned it like my dog when it's about to throw up.
I'm going to say when, not did it, because I'm assuming it might have when or did it become not cool for a minute? Did it become...
No, it was fine, because my intention was to be funny. You know, it wasn't something, like, it wasn't a body shaming thing. It wasn't something, and even then, like, I had such a shit time in high school. Am I allowed to cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
I had such a shit time in high school. Like, people were really, really mean to me.
Got it.
And not just, like, mean girl mean, like... You can ask anyone from my high school, even the teachers, and say, what was Emily Zeck's experience? And they would say she was one of the most hated people, like, in that time period, in that school.
That's a huge statement to say, though. You know that, right? Like, that's...
100%.
And I'm not saying that, like, that you're wrong. I'm saying that's heavy. That's a large
and some of those
carry.
people have grown up, and they'll approach my sister and say, like, God, I treated your sister so poorly. Like, I want to apologize. And in my head, I'm like... I've already forgiven you. Like, I've moved on, and to be honest, I'm super thankful for it because, like, the next 10 years of my life was about to be some of the highest highs and lowest lows that I wouldn't be able to handle had I not grown some really thick skin. So
when this happened with this video, you took it as genuine comedy, the way people were calling you the throw-up girl.
Oh, I was cracking up.
So you, with your thick skin...
Right.
Are able to differentiate.
Absolutely. And there's also a difference between, like, I would say the only thing nowadays that frustrates me is when I post something about my parents, or if I'm enjoying something my parents have provided me, and they, you know, call me privileged, which I absolutely am, but they call me privileged in a way that makes me feel guilty for being grateful that my parents are able to provide these things for me. And I'm not my parents, I'm independent. I pay my own bills. I live in my own house.
No, that's wildly interesting though, because I literally think some people think I'm just some guy that just does fun stuff and has money.
Right.
And I've kind of cleared that up on my social platforms because it became this thing where people didn't know I was for hire.
Right.
They thought I was just this guy that had money and did things. And I'll never forget, it was after my ex split. I was really depressed. I had just gotten back from New York. I was in a terrible place. And I'm working in Lansing Island at this big house. Mm-hmm. And I'm in this multi-million-dollar house doing a real estate video. And someone messaged me on Instagram because I posted a picture of my drone with the Lamborghini. And they say, trust fund baby. Mm. And, you know, I'm trying to not get pissed, and I'm pissed. And I respond, and I switched it up. I was like, haha, I need the login number for that account because I don't got it. And then he responded and said something super vulgar, and like I was just and I blocked him. But the point was, where does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's guilty of seeing something on social media and assuming something about that person, even if it's something good. Like, I'm guilty of saying, God, their life is perfect. You know, even if it's a good assumption, when you're consuming social media all day long, that is your reality. And so you form stories around people because that's what we do as humans. When we don't understand something, we stick a narrative to it. And it can be a good one, it can be a bad one, it can be one that where you say, I don't know their narrative, and that's what I'm going to call it. Like, I don't understand, so I'm not going to form an opinion.
And
but
now
we form something.
And now it's digital information we're consuming,
right.
which gets watered down.
Oh, if you look up my net worth on Google, it says that my net worth is like 17 million.
What?
God, I wish.
Dude, what's mine?
It's something. It's in the millions.
No way.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, damn. If only everything on the internet were true.
Is it under Emily Zeck, like, or Pineapple Girl, like?
If you look up Emily Zeck net worth, it'll show you some like million.
What? So I find that so interesting because oh my gosh.
What is it?
Okay, so Emily Zeck, this year it says you've made $100K to $5 million this year, which is a very broad.
That is a broad.
I thought it said 1 million to 5 million, but it's 100K to 5 million. This is what I'm talking about because someone could Google you. Yeah. And this isn't even close to accurate. Anyways, regardless.
I wish I made the low end.
Dude, I'd be stoked to make 100K in the first quarter.
Right.
That would be pretty sick.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, walk with 400K this year.
Yeah, if I had an OnlyFans, maybe it would be different, but I'm not at that point in my life yet, so.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because it's cool having you here because you have grown a lot over 10 years.
Absolutely.
Like, seriously, think about it. Think about when you met me and I met you.
For sure.
And you were a high school kid.
Yeah.
And your life was changing. And I was freshly 21. And I actually was, going from this really dark, disturbing part of my life where I was getting in trouble and going to jail and doing drugs. And then I met all these young people that were doing cool things. So my life actually got really cool when I met you guys. Yeah. Like, that really was. And think about it. When you take someone somewhere new and you get to do it again. Right. You guys became this new just herd of people that were fun and wanted to do things and wanted to work on stuff. And you guys were younger than me. Right. So I got to watch all the growth. And it's just been really cool, Yeah. And it's amazing because, like, you were one of the people that I show your accounts to people for a lot of reasons. I use you as an example for proper marketing all the time. You don't even know it, but I send people your account all the time. Thanks. Because I use your engagement as an example. Mm-hmm. I do. I use it for an example all the time. Mm-hmm. I show people poor engagement and then good engagement. Right. And then, like, I show people your stuff because I think it's super funny. Or I think it's awesome. And so you have curated something really incredible. Thank you. And it's awesome. Thanks. So going into part 2 of the social thing, the juggle. So let's talk about the juggle with the content creator, the talent, the ads, the music, because you're just like me. I don't just create content. I'm hosting it. I'm starring in it. I'm producing it. I'm script writing it. Then I'm the guy writing the contracts. I'm selling it. Right. What is that like for you? I'm for sure a one-woman band. I have very few people that I trust with the business side of things, which is fine. I'd rather keep my circle smaller because that's less people that I have to pay. How do you feel after a couple years? You've been doing this for a while now. How do you feel as far as your wrangling skills goes? It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, no, it's a lot. I mean, I treat it, sometimes I'm numb to it. I would say I'm a veteran in the social media world for sure. Not that I have, I guess I do have like almost 2 million followers on TikTok and like 500,000 on Instagram or whatever. And I've curated a great audience. But it's a job. I show up and I get it done. And the thing on my mind is, how do I create longevity out of this? What is everyone likes a one-hit wonder. The viral videos are great. I know exactly what's gonna go viral before I post it. And I don't have those viral ideas all the time, but when I do, I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be a big one. And it always is, because I know what's gonna hit. I know what my audience likes. I know, if it's something that's already trending on social media, if I piggyback off of that and give them something more, I know exactly what's going to do well. And it's effort. Like, I have to consume social media every day for hours a day so that I am up on the trends. It's almost like being a newscaster. Like, you can't shut out the world and go have a personal life and then show up to work the next day. Like, what are you gonna present? What is the current
you don't even know what the current events are.
Yeah.
I have to know what the current events are on social media in order to
Well, this is
perform.
this is a very important tangent right now, is that shit don't just land like this.
No.
People don't get that.
Yeah.
And so, who was it? Was it you? So many people be getting hate these days. Someone just shared this thing. Might have been you, and they were talking. It was this super nasty. It was Ben Gravy. It was 100% Ben Gravy. He is one of the coolest, most chill people on the planet that gets crazy deep hate.
Yeah.
This guy went on this tangent about how people like me and Ben and you, we are like taking advantage of the daily person, the day-to-day person, with making them watch these things, and that we're bullying brand. Like, dude, it was the craziest thing. And people like that think someone like Ben is just fell there.
Right.
Just fell there.
I
And,
mean, most
like,
artists in general, like especially music artists, you see somebody who is all of a sudden an overnight sensation. No, they've been playing in bars for 10 years.
yeah.
And somebody came along and put a paycheck behind it and gave them more of a like kind of character rebuild with even Lady Gaga. Like, she wasn't Lady Gaga before she was Lady Gaga. She was
Dude.
just a woman playing wonderful shows for audiences that were bigger, but she wasn't Lady Gaga.
People don't get the hustle that goes into these
Yeah.
things. Like Kendrick Lamar used to be K-Dot. Nobody
Yeah.
knows that. And yeah, you know, it's sad when people look at something and make such a simple 2-sentence assumption
Right.
about someone's career and life. So like Ben, dude, he was a alcoholic, a drug addict. His life was burning out, and then he's now in the thousands of daily vlogs. And then here comes Johnny Bob,
Right.
72. That once, and you know, as much as I don't get weighed down by certain stuff, some stuff does get me. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, how do you differentiate and know your truth? Like, because
Right.
I will say for me, I'm already an overanalyzer. I have such a problem differentiating.
Right.
When do I stand up? When do I
Totally.
sit down? And where do you draw the line?
To be honest, unless it's something that comes for, unless it's so false that I feel like my safety's at risk, or my well-being or the well-being of my family, I'm honestly, like, Dolly Parton talked about it once. She was, this interviewer was like, they see you as a sex icon. Like, they see you as a dumb, bimbo, basically. How does that make you feel? And she was like, I show up to work, I put on a face, and I make money. Like, and honestly, what I'm doing is a mask. It's parts of my life that are very true. It's what I'm putting on social media isn't a lie. Like, I don't lie and say that I like pineapples. I don't lie and say that
It's
I
just
like
curated.
Right. It's specifically formatted because this is the piece that I want to share with you.
Got it, yeah.
And to be honest, my most joyful moments in life are moments where I'm not filming anything. I'm not even thinking about it. And that's okay for me. And I'm happy with the opinion that people have formed about me, whether it's puking dog girl, whether it's girl that kicks open beers, whether it's, like something that they've given me that label, whatever it is, I'm fine with it because it's making me money, you know?
You take it with a grain of salt and it becomes like, I always tell people, it's like badges. Like being
Right.
being in Boy Scouts, you get all your little badges. So yeah, dude, your little drink trick, that's a badge.
Yeah,
like your
totally.
little...
Anything that goes viral, I count as my badge because that's when they think of my name, they're going to think either pineapples, kicking open beers, puking dog dance.
Yeah.
And that's
Like,
okay.
Imagine if you had just one or two of these videos go one time. I always try to tell people there's a difference between stuff being seen and stuff that builds clout, like healthy clout, like a brand's clout.
Right.
So like you have these videos that someone could call random catches of virality. However, the brand as a whole is not random.
No.
You are not random.
Yeah.
And people on their own ability add 1 + 1 = 3. This is the same girl from this
Right,
and that. This
yeah.
is so...
If you're a one-trick pony on social media, it's like being a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, and you've been smart at
Right.
harnessing. It's like fishing. You
Right.
got a lot of different rods out.
Like, let me try something new. Let me cut my bangs.
But it's
with
cool
kitchen scissors.
because you don't really have control over it either. You
No,
come
nobody
up with the
does.
ideas. And so I had my cool little lens ball thing, and it was a huge realization moment for me. And instead of getting frustrated at the ebb and flow,
Right.
I looked at it as another badge, as another really cool moment that absolutely fueled my brand and gave me a new tangible thing to build on.
It is going to ebb and flow because the people that come to you after these viral moments, some of them don't stick around, and some of them, like when I get reposted on meme pages, like if I have a viral video, most of my Instagram following comes from meme pages that will repost me. And it's mostly like crude dudes and like ghost accounts, which is okay. Yeah. But like the people that stick around, like after the hype is over, before the next thing that gets hyped on my page, I lose followers. I probably have lost 20,000 followers in the last 6 months. And it's just people that have come because, maybe something went viral because it was hot. Like the beer opening thing, a bunch of people thought it was attractive. So I got a bunch of people who thought I was going to do that 24/7.
And you get this wave of people for this singular purpose and then ultimately jump ship for whatever reason.
Right. And whether they're a spam account, whether it's somebody who thinks they're signing up for something that they didn't sign up for, I'm okay with it because overall, like my engagement doesn't change that much.
Yeah.
You have to let go of the number.
Well, and that is what is like, I don't want to speak for you, but you... And I try to make this clear to people, like I suck at balance, especially with social media. And for the first time, and again, I got into it really early, and it's just been a journey, bro. And like my whole soul is involved in it. So it has been.
What's your job? It's your livelihood.
And I tell people it's exhausting, and I've had a lot of moments that I have lost. And
same.
So the reason I have these questions for you is because I do believe you handle most things very appropriately, and I watch you even as a co-creator, and I learn from you. And so you're one of the people I keep in mind when I go through my moments. And the last thing I want to close on this is to the other people of all scales and sizes.
Yeah.
What do you tell them? The internet can be an extraordinarily hateful place.
Yeah.
And it can be the birthing ground for bigger problems.
Right.
What do you tell people on the whole about just that blatant negativity in any way?
It's not real. None of it's real. I mean, you can sit there and read every single comment, and I do because I try to, engage with the people that are there for genuine reasons.
Which is a love-hate relationship because you're trying to engage with the right people.
Absolutely.
Which forces you to read.
Yeah, I read everything. I mean, unless it's a viral video and I've got 10,000 comments, I can't read all those. I'll try to read the ones at the top that are the most popular. But it is what it is. And that's okay for me because, I can't sit somebody down and be like, hey, this is how I was treated. I have a 4-year degree in this. I'll give you my IQ. I'm going to tell you every struggle I've ever been through. And I'm going to give you play-by-play on my daily life so you can find out, exactly who I am as a person. Nobody is even if you presented that information.
Yeah.
They'd still at the end of the day, if they're not going to go for your character, they're going to call you fat or something. So
I like you. I kid you not. You said potentially the most perfect. You said it's not real. It's not.
None of it's. I mean, it's not real. Even everything that you think is important. At the end of the day, you're on a floating rock in space. So let it go. And the universe, the thing that I heard recently from somebody that was just the realest thing I've ever heard is. It's like when you go over to somebody's house and if I were to spill my water on your carpet, to me, initially, before you ever react, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I've made a huge mistake. I feel awful. I'm going to kick myself, metaphorically. I'm going to kick myself. I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to be like, I'm sorry. And you're going to be like, it's just water. I really don't care. And even if it was something else, I don't care. I'm not mad at you. It's a mistake. And that's kind of what the universe does when you fail or you have something that you just kick yourself over. Even if it's something as simple as you had an awkward interaction in public with somebody, you go home and you sit for hours in your bed and you're like, why did I say that? Oh my God, I feel so stupid. But the universe is saying, I don't care.
I think that's
all good.
What life teaches you.
Yeah.
Because you care about certain things when you're little. You don't care about anything for a while.
Right.
But then comes the introduction of pressure and people.
Right.
And so for me, I got really lost in the sauce on what things to care about.
Right.
And I had a super
Everyone
broken
does.
childhood, and I was taught to handle certain things the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So like, my dad's side of the family, like I got my dad, and I got the anger, reactive,
Mm-hmm.
and like the fix thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that I had to learn in my adult life was how to fix things by not fixing them, and accepting that some things just flat out aren't real. I had this horrible experience with this rental car place, made a fake TikTok because I didn't want to blow up my own. And it was the first video I put up on there was this exchange, and it got like over 500,000 views. And I'm like, good, my point got out there. I stood by what I said. I was not inappropriate. And for the first time ever, I was like, wow, I didn't do anything that I questioned after I put it out there. Right. Because sometimes I say things, I'm like, I don't know if I should have gone there. So it was just, I didn't go there. But then the internet got its turn. And I will say 9 out of 10 comments out of the 10,000 agreed with me. But that 1 out of 10 I started reading. And they were unneeded from way far out west. It was crazy. And then Maddie looks at me. She's like, dude, stop reading it. It's not real if you don't read it. So here's the thing. The video is still going. And I just don't look at the comments.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever done this, ever. And it's this bizarrely empowering thing of I stand by the reason I put it there. I put it there for a reason. I got treated like crap.
Right.
Most people agree with me, regardless.
Right.
I put it there for a purpose. And it was not to get a high five. That's something I had to learn. And it's hard.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you also have to kind of just suck it up and say any publicity is good publicity. And at the end of the day, like, again, unless it harms yourself, unless it is harming to you or somebody around you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You're good.
Don't hurt other people. That's my whole thing.
Yeah, just, don't hurt other people and roll with the punches as they come, because, like, that's not going to be the end of it. The more you are out on social media and recognized on social media or in public or doing whatever, like, the more hate you're going to get, because the bigger the pool is, the more eyes you have on you. I, even in just like before social media, I had people that hated me. I just didn't know it all the time because they wouldn't say it to my face.
Yeah.
And then I'd figure out and be like, like I feel so weird not being liked. Because I genuinely, like, I'm not a bad person.
No, I know. And I have forever struggled with the knowing.
Yeah.
That knowing that there's something somewhere that's not okay.
Right. Somebody doesn't like you for some reason. You're like, why?
Well, because I'm kind of like a fix it or burn it kind of guy.
Right.
And I hate the like, well, let's wait and see if it grows. It's like, no. And so, and that's its own subject. But I have one more on here, and it's on the same topic, but it's kind of out west. For social, what is it like being a woman? A woman that is looked at by all kinds of people.
Totally. Lots of creepy dudes.
And I will say, like, you do have plenty of modest content that still probably brings in random.
Well, I could post a photo of my elbow and I'd get some, like, weird dick pic.
Dude, you could get that. You could get hate. You could, so, again, some of this we've gone over, but from, like, a woman aspect.
Yeah.
I do think that you carry more of the I'm not taking the shit kind of approach, which I like.
Totally.
You 100% stand your ground more than most, I don't even want to say most women, but most people. So, yeah, what's it like having kind of a more abrasive approach that most women should have?
Yeah, I mean, I put up boundaries, but I try to do it in a way that is not mean a lot of the time. It's just crystal clear and has some sarcasm to it. So if you're gonna get on my photo and it's like me coming out of the water, I'm surfing. I did something that I love. It's a sport. Don't sexualize it. Yeah. But like if somebody chooses to sexualize it and they say, "Oh God, I wish I was that drop of water like on your left butt cheek," I'm gonna say,
that just made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, I got that the other day, and like I would be like, "Hey, Alan, that's a pretty weird thing to say." And that's all I'll say. And then
I see your comments.
Yeah.
Listen, you obviously know who Kelly Slater is. Do you go to his Instagram and what you interact like him?
Yeah.
It's like It's direct, but it's playful and it's blunt, but it's softened just mildly, and it's kind of perfect
because people don't think I'm real, and in a sense we're like, and that's what I've learned too with the extra creepy people, like the people that send me like stalker things, like.
So there's a line in the sand. What do you do there when
you
it
don't
goes
do anything.
from like
you don't do anything. If you are if somebody is virtually in your space like that, you do nothing because you're still not real to them. Yeah. Because nobody in their right mind would do that to my face if they knew me. So in this person's mind who's making like weird collages and send me photos of their basement wall where like they have just my butt photos on their wall. Like
what?
Weird stuff. If you interact with it, you become real to them.
For sure.
And then then you're in trouble. If you are a fantasy to these people, that's fine.
So your whole approach, woman, non-woman, whatever, it's not real, don't make it.
Right. You know, it's...
Until it is real. Until it's someone that posts a picture of them in your driveway.
Right. Like, it's not real until it is. Then, if my personal safety is an issue, then I take action. It's a completely different conversation. Yeah. If you're just offending me,
and I'm asking more not on your behalf, but what I have learned, and that is why I vibrantly speak about mental health and going to jail and drugs and all the bad things, because I realize there's a lot of people, usually by circumstance, not by choice, have been raised in a way that doesn't make them feel so safe saying things.
Totally.
Anything. So a lot of these questions I'm hoping spark thoughts in other people's heads.
Right.
Like, oh, is that me?
Growing up, especially people who consume my content, and it's mostly young adults. It's people between the ages of 18 and 35. And if you're 35, I'd still call you a young adult.
For sure. I'm turning 30 in 2 weeks, lady.
Well, the older we get, the more we realize that, like, we're adults, but, like, when we are in trouble, we just go to people who we think are adultier adults. You know, like, and to be honest, they don't even know, like, you can say it with confidence and you'll accept it, you know? You go to your mom.
Yo, adultier adults.
Yeah.
The friends you go to when you need help.
Are just adultier adults. Even your parents are adultier adults. You know, you have all the tools you need, but you're still going to go to somebody who you think has more answers. And sometimes they do because of their experience, but sometimes they just don't. And they give you the answer that they think is going to be best. And what I've learned is, like, and I just wrote a song about it. It's when you're a kid, you don't know to differentiate the weeds and the flowers. Like, you go into a backyard and see, you know, these cute little things. No, it's an invasive weed, but, like, you're like, oh, that's pretty. That's a flower. And your whole growing up, and it could take forever. And probably because I haven't lived forever, it's going to be a forever. I have a feeling is you're just growing up and completely restructuring your reality to your experiences, because you wouldn't know anything unless your teacher, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, whoever you looked up to gave you what your priorities are supposed to be. Hey, this is important. This is how you react when this happens. And I'm going to give you a list of things that you should and shouldn't do. And we grow up and we challenge all of those things. And sometimes we just accept it as our truth. Yeah. And then you become an adult and you have life experiences, your own experiences that you don't share with anyone, even your soulmate. You're on your own path. And you just kind of have to, like, put your big boy or big girl pants on and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. This just rocked my entire universe. What I thought was true isn't true. My priorities, you know, maybe need to be shifted a little bit, but I'm going to figure it out because everybody else is figuring it out, whether you're like 18 or like 65.
Yeah.
Everybody is just figuring it out, and nobody has it figured out.
Well, nobody's okay, and that's one thing I've realized. And we've all heard nobody's perfect, but I have genuinely, like, very, very, very recently realized that nobody's perfect, and you trying to make things perfect is, like, a horrible idea sometimes.
Right. Surround yourself with people that accept your downfalls.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Meaning, you have to have a balance of pros and cons with people in your life, because no one's going to be perfect. And so you have to see the value they bring to you.
Right.
And you know the cliche saying, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. You know,
it's true.
There's so much truth to that. And I have some friends in my life right now, and then we've had some conversations, and we're in a really beautiful place, and I couldn't be happier. And this is one of my best friends. And so I'm proud at the ability to overcome and take that moment to have growth, because I almost feel like prior to this new level of growth we were playing in like minor leagues, you know?
Right, which is okay. Sometimes you're just not ready for those conversations, and that's completely fine. If you have to play in the minor leagues until, you know, you are so uncomfortable with your position that you have to have that conversation, then that's okay. There's a time and a place for everything.
It'll present itself.
Absolutely. The universe makes it so uncomfortable for you when you need a change that you are just forced to take that change.
I don't think people get that. Like, I always tell people the worst thing on this planet you can do is ignore the vibrant, clear changes that are being put in front of you. Because if you find a workaround and avoid that, you're going to miss that opportunity to take that friendship and elevate it like I did.
Anything. Relationship, friendship, job opportunity, anything.
Anything.
And that's okay. Because there are so many unknowns. Like when I was in a position where I needed to just change up my life and I didn't know where to start, my life went to shit real fast. I got robbed. Somebody hacked my bank account. I, was out of a place to stay. My grandma died. I had a shit show of a 2 weeks, and then my life completely changed around, and I didn't even know who I was 2 weeks before that. I had a new job. I was living somewhere else. I had a completely new career path, and life was good again. But that happens a million more times in your life.
Yeah, and people pay too much attention to I guess trying to have control and keep it consistent.
For sure.
And I call it like the Dr. Evil mentality. So like envision the shittiest shit week, not day, week.
Yeah.
It's just like
a chapter of your life that is just so bad.
You can't ignore it. You're not being negative.
Right.
You're just talking about your week.
Right.
If you in that moment can be some sick bastard that can sit there and say, okay, this is going to be a really crazy awesome chapter in my book of life one day.
Yeah.
I kid you not, by adapting that perspective, I have been in really bad positions and stopped myself, and you're just lying to yourself. You're just distracting yourself from irrational thinking for just long enough to get through it.
For sure.
And I have regretted my responses to a lot of things over the years. And so by doing that and giving life a freaking chance, a moment to not go the way I think it's gonna go.
Right.
I am a worst case scenario kind of guy by nature.
Most people are.
Usually doesn't go there.
Yeah.
Even if it does, my mom told me this for years and I didn't even want to repeat it until I realized it's kind of how it goes. Gnarly things happen to me. They set me back kind of hard. Mm-hmm. Every single time I come up in a better freaking position.
For sure.
Every time.
Yeah.
So turbulence and trauma, it can be the single most growing thing of your life if you let it.
It will be, even if it takes you longer to realize, even if you are in the middle of a storm. Everyone is either about to go into a storm, in the middle of one, or just went through one.
Yeah, and I think there's different size storms. So I feel like you've got your daily and weekly ones, right?
For sure.
And then you know how you've got those problems that don't just go away and they're kind of there.
Right.
Those are your bigger ones that last. And I feel like having that balance, and seriously, when before I texted you yesterday about the podcast, I had your name on the list and I was driving somewhere and I was thinking, I think I saw in your stories, you seem to have a good balance and you seem to have a really good life that you enjoy. No one twist this. I love my life. That's not what I'm saying. I just realized this is looking like really morbid. But again, I'm so hyper observant and I love watching the people around me, and perspective is everything. Mm-hmm. So this is let's call it hour and change conversation, right?
Yeah.
Within it is decades of experience and information and perspective. That is why I hold nothing back. That is why I love to have conversations, and that's why I like to share conversations, because for X, Y, or Z, other people might not have that.
Right. And I was blessed with my parents and my upbringing. I think I got the short end of the stick in my school experience and a lot of other experience, relationships especially, after being in a horribly abusive relationship and having that just rock my world when I was 19. You're never going to know what the right thing to do is. And you just kind of have to do it, and do it with the intention that you are doing it to the best of your ability, and everything's going to be fine. Even if you fall flat on your freaking face, which I've done multiple times. I have failed so many times. I can't even count the amount of times I failed. Little and big things. I've screwed up on massive scales. And just little daily things like, oh my God, like I forgot to let my dog out, or I forgot to feed my dog, or I forgot to check my mail, or like answer a call. Like those little things, yeah. But like I've also screwed up on like amazingly massive scales.
Does it bother you when you make mistakes?
Depends on the day I'm having. And
if I find out I didn't call such and such this morning because I forgot, I don't take it very well, and I'm working on it because I'm understanding. But it's this balance between, am I not holding myself accountable enough, or am I holding myself to some unobtainable perfection level? That's the thing that you have to differentiate. You know what I mean? And like life is so weird because think about it. Be kind, but don't be walked on.
Right.
Push and be the most successful individual you can, and grow and go to the sky's limit. But you gotta have time for your family.
Yeah, so, don't overwork yourself.
So, you know, right now, for me and my brand, I have astronomical goals that are, I don't know, seen and not seen, meaning financial, personal. There's all kinds of goals, right? But my biggest new goals is to like have a better balance and to have more health and life and focus, because I call it the time machine mentality. A lot of people don't sit still and say, me in 40 years with the same actions I'm making. What does that look like? So I go into the future a lot, and I've been trying to look at my life flow currently, and it's not what I want. Meaning it's not bad. Me and her spend way more time than most couples. But I don't care what other couples do.
Yeah.
I know what I want, and I know when I'm dying one day, I don't want to look back and be like, well, fuck, dude, you should have you should have shaved some of that out.
Right.
So it is super important to me that when I feel something, I work on it right now, you know, and trying to have that balance. I'm young, but I'm getting older. I can kind of feel the grind getting to me a little bit.
Right.
So I'm trying to adapt early so I can do this forever, and, you know.
You're going to also go through this exact same process mentally probably like 5 more times in your life, because life is about finding balance and then getting completely out of balance and then finding it again. And it's almost like being, you know, a snake shedding its skin. When it starts to kind of peel off, it can't just take all of its skin off at once. Like, yeah, it's annoying. It feels uncomfortable. And then
I like that.
It finally gets out of its skin, and then it's going to do that 20 more times in the cycle of its life, but you can't force it out of you.
So question, have you ever felt imbalance? Like, have you ever had a flow, but then something happens and messes it up?
Absolutely.
But then you look back and you realize you were not in balance.
Absolutely.
And that mess up.
Absolutely.
I've had a couple of those in my life, and I take them and like, I don't know, it's so cool to not look back on things in a negative light, but to look at what was pretty cataclysmic, but to see how good it was overall.
Right.
I feel like a lot, that's what I mean by avoiding stuff. People will avoid all kinds of things in the name of business as usual. They don't want interruption.
Or even in the name of like trying to maintain balance. Like if it's clearly going out of whack, let it go out of whack.
Yeah.
Like don't. When I was like right smack in the middle of my abusive relationship, in my mind, I was like, I'm killing it. I'm successful. I'm traveling the world.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And then you look back on it and you're like, whoa, Emily, that wasn't very good.
So, dude, when I was with my ex, I look at pictures now of me that I hate. I was the skinniest,
but at the time, you think you're like, I'm fit. I'm killing it. I'm in a relationship.
I thought I had the whole thing figured out. No. I was not growing my brand. I was not paying attention to my health. I was not paying attention to my family. And I had this weird mindset of like I had gotten out of hell. So I was like almost mean defensive of my little world. And if you were anything against it, you were a threat.
Oh, if you tried to get me out of my abusive relationship, I cut you off.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy about those relationships, and or whatever situation, whether it's a toxic work relationship, any type of relationship, especially romantic, you isolate yourself slowly, and then that person becomes your whole world. And then when you're out of it, it's like waking up from a 10-year coma. You're like, I don't know who I am.
You're reborn. It's a different life.
For sure. And it sucks, and you kind of have to figure out who you are, but who I am now.
But how necessary was it? Seriously.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I would have handled the music industry. I've been in so many situations where I have learned to navigate with my safety in mind. And because being in the music industry as a woman, like I think 97% of producers, songwriters, they're all male. And I've been blessed to be in rooms, like most of the people I work with are male. And then I have my very few female writers that I absolutely adore, and they're my safe space. And that's the people that I write the hard songs with. And being in rooms, especially new rooms, new to LA, I lived there for 5 years, walking in places and knowing how to conduct myself professionally, but in a way that I get exactly what I want without compromising who I am and where my moral compass is, that all comes with like completely throwing yourself away.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chapters that I don't want to revisit, but that I'm proud to have endured and come out alive.
They make you who you are, and they give you your identity. And it's funny, we're going to this realm because that's the next thing I wanted to go into. Which, look at us. We're just, look at us just killing it. So literally, it says, let's talk identity. So you created a huge brand. And it's a brand, and it's a brand for yourself, which I can relate. It's two breeds. How did it begin? Which, more or less, how did the whole Pineapple Girl thing start? And then let's go ahead and just bring in your transition from Pineapple Girl to music, to influencer, to social media.
Yeah.
Just quickly, what did that little bit of progress look like?
I mean, I was in college when I started Instagram. I started using it because I saw the potential. I didn't know exactly what the potential was, but I knew it was out there. And I didn't know it was financial, to be honest. To me, it was, I was a broke college kid in a beach town. I wanted free bikinis so I could surf.
Yeah. So the Pineapple Girl. Everybody's gonna ask, where did the handle come from?
Unfortunately, from a college party, this girl, I wore like a pineapple shirt, and then this drunk girl in the bathroom like complimented my shirt. The next night I went out again, saw the same girl, different bathroom. She was still hammered.
And she says,
and she was like, she was like, you're Pineapple Girl. And I was like, what? And she was like, Pineapple Girl, you had the pineapple shirt. And I was like, sick.
I love that though. That's cool. I'm serious.
Fun.
No, like a little backstory is really cool. Like, even if it's random, it has no connection or correlation at all.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Like NPI Productions, NPI stands for no pun intended.
Yeah.
I was making fun of my stepdad because he said no pun intended, so we thought it was hilarious.
Right.
And then 10 years later, we have a company.
Right. It's just, it's your brand name, and that's...
No one even thinks about it.
Yeah, no one thinks about it. I'm just...
So same with you.
Girl.
Drunk Girl.
Yeah.
Blesses you with the Pineapple Girl name.
Blesses me with the name. I don't know her name. I don't know if she'll even remember me.
Shout out to Drunk Girl.
Yeah, shout out Drunk Girl. Thank you.
You did a lot.
She really did, honestly. I owe her probably my whole
Think about
career.
this, though. I love stuff like this. You more or less could have ended up here-ish, but think about it.
Right,
Your
butterfly
whole
effect.
brand
It's
is
so
associated in some way or another with the Pineapple Girl.
Right.
And that became from a conversation, which,
right.
again, is proof that people are like, oh, how do you do it? Just live your life.
Yeah,
and
you just do it.
And you'll fall into it. So, moving forward, you've made the Pineapple Girl account.
Right. And then I was like an influencer. I was more of like, I would say the blogger, fashion model type. And then...
I remember you started to give me a flashback. I remember... Because I followed you the whole time. I remember you started posting bikini pictures and stuff. And then I remember when you started doing a lot of them, just your phone, playing your guitar.
Yep. I still tape my phone to a window for natural light. I just tape it with Scotch tape. And I've never owned a tripod.
That's
I still
awesome.
don't own a tripod. I just tape my phone somewhere.
It's incredible.
Because it works. I mean, it's cheap. I don't have to carry anything
You're a
around
legend.
except a roll of Scotch tape.
So those videos, did they start showing you interest in the talent for your voice on a different level?
That's where I found my manager. My manager
from your
approached
original
me on
Instagram videos.
Yeah, on Instagram. And
were you doing it to be a music artist?
No, it was just fun. And that's what I said. I was like, I don't want to do this. I got like a full ride to college. I love school. Music is impossible. I don't want to do that. And then it became it was like a snowball effect. I had so much momentum.
You just walked into it without trying to.
Yeah, and that's, if it's meant for you, no matter where you run, it's going to find you. And I tried to run from it. I've still tried to run from it. I kind of gave up my music. The people I was working with didn't care about me. They didn't prioritize me. I've had the last like 4 years, 3-4 years have just been kind of really shitty.
You're 25 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Give or take, when did you start the Pineapple Girl page? When you're 18?
18.
So 7 years. When did you make the transition from just posting scotch taped iPhone videos from the window to music, to like having conversations with people, meeting people.
Totally.
When was that?
I still tape my phone to the window.
That's why I said it. That's why I said it. I was trying to give you a hard time.
I still
I didn't make eye contact.
I
looked over there.
There was no transition from that. But, you know, when I did meet my manager and finally he was like, you can do both. You know, I did my school online. That's how I got my degree. The last 2 to 3 years of my schooling, that's what I did. I did it on a computer from California.
I was about to say, so you were in California, and this was part of the bridge I wanted to go into. So this journey ultimately led you to California. Mm-hmm. So you moved to California.
Yep.
And this was to pursue
music. Music.
Mostly music. So
and I did pop music, and pop music was easy for me to write. I loved it.
I just thought you said pop music.
Pop music.
I was like
pop music.
I was like, did you?
I mean, I did like lots of reggae stuff too. I mean,
and I'm gonna tell people,
the two,
I love your music, seriously.
Thank
I probably told you, I don't know if I have or not, but like I've been known to like your stuff will come up on shuffle in my car. And by the way, my boy Adam J, the freestyle fisherman, I don't know if I told you about him.
Yeah.
He was here the other day, and I played one of your songs. Dude was tripping. Because mind you, he's an artist. He can visualize.
Right.
And so, dude, he's listening to you and just tripping, knowing that you live around here. It was really cool.
That's so funny.
But yeah, no, I love your music, and it's crazy because it's a combination of I can't believe I know her, and this sounds like it should be on the radio. And it's also like such satellite beach music.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, gushing over Emily. That was weird.
Thanks.
Back to the story.
Back to the story.
I know the curve here. I'm assuming you weren't really trying to move back to Florida when you did.
No, it was always a goal. And to be honest, I was unhappy. Even though I had so many great things going for me. I had a new job. I was working with the Mandel family, Howie Mandel and his son. And that was like, honestly, the job of my dreams. It was so fun. It was.
What did they have you doing?
Technically, my role was head of production or production manager.
Cool.
Kind of up in the air. So I would just manage. I basically like kept a schedule. I showed them how to use a calendar.
That's amazing.
Which was awesome because I worked in the digital space called AMP Digital, and it was a digital production company, and we did viral videos, we did Facebook ads, we did all that kind of stuff.
And this was in LA?
Yeah, it was. Alex Mandel was not a close friend to me at the time, but I had just gone through the shitstorm. I had no money. I had no place to live. I was literally packing up my life, and I was like, I just got to go home because I have nowhere to go. It was almost Christmas, so nobody's signing leases. I had no money.
This is December 2019.
Mm-hmm. December 2019. I had no money. I had nothing. I just lost my grandma. I had just graduated college, so I didn't have a resume. I just spent the last 4 years, when I wasn't in school, I was working on music.
So everything kind of just came together that moment.
Right. And so I met up with my friend Alex, and I was like, hey, you won't see me for a while. I got to go home. I got nothing. And he was like, yeah, maybe we could find something for you, the company. And I was like, crap, a pity job offer, but I'll literally take anything right now. I was ready to be like, I don't care. I have no ego. I don't care if I have to work a waitress job. Like, I'm down to make money however possible.
So did you wanted to come home?
No, I had no choice.
Yeah, so I guess I should have asked, did you want to come home? Was there any part of you, whether it was family or friends or no, you were content?
No, I wanted to make it.
So you looked at leaving California as a backstep.
Yeah, leaving California was going to be the worst thing possible for me because the industry moves at 1,000,000 miles per hour. And then obviously I got that job. I learned a lot. I learned so much. That family I still work with Mrs. Mandel. She's my talent agent. And that family has been the most generous, knowledge-providing family that I've ever met out there, which is so rare for Los Angeles. I mean, they're good people, like genuinely good people. Like they supported everything that I wanted to do. They let me be flexible.
Well, you're blessed that you got tied in with those people.
Absolutely.
Because beyond a job, like I said, what you absorb from people is invaluable.
Oh yeah. I mean, even if I had, another income, just being around them and experiencing, learning, and Howie taught me one of the most valuable pieces of information that I still carry to this day, because I'm very like tunnel vision on what I want, and I don't accept opportunities outside of what I think is going to be perfectly right for me.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's not how you do it. You say yes to everything until you get a contract. You say yes to everything until it's real. Until you have it in your hand and that opportunity is yours, then you can make a decision. But until then, everything that comes your way, you say yes, 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 yes. And that's what I started doing. I just started saying yes to everything. Any audition that I got, any person in my, mailbox that said they had something to offer me, anything, I was just saying yes. Where a lot of times I was like, that doesn't align with me. Like a horror movie audition, like I don't want to do that. I said yes to everything. I showed up to everything. And opportunities came my way more than I've ever gotten in my entire life that had nothing to do with the opportunity that I said yes to, because I obviously wasn't right for it. But I showed up and the people there said, you're not right for this, but you're right for this.
Yeah, so basically by overly analyzing and excluding yourself, you missed out, but by going to the wrong place, you met the right person.
Say yes to everything until there's something in
your
your face that says, sign this, you have to do this.
Yeah.
Say yes to everything. Unless it obviously is a clear threat to your safety or to somebody else. And they're like, you go, hey, I want you to smuggle this across the border. Say no. But like...
Are you sure?
Most of the time, yeah. I guess I don't have all the information on it, but like...
But like, do you remember the ASF, Atlantic Surfing Federation? It was kind of like NSSA.
Yeah.
I did night security years before I actually filmed it. I slept on the scaffolding. And while I was sleeping up there, the director met me. It was like, weren't you the guy that was videoing on the beach? And then they hired me the next year to be the video guy.
Yeah, say yes to everything.
By sleeping on a scaffolding, I secured a job, which led to another job, to another job, to another job.
I showed up to an audition, and it was for a singing show that was unnamed. I showed up late. I had beer stained on my shirt because we had just shot something at the office. I looked like a freaking mess. I was sweaty. I was disgusting. And I was in like ripped up shorts and literally a beer t-shirt. It said beer on it. And I showed up and I got the pamphlet. I'm looking around. Everyone is in high heels, dresses, suits. Everyone in this audition room. And I look at the bottom and it's like, show up like you're ready to perform at a stadium. And I was like, God, I didn't read that.
And what are you dressed in? You're just dressed in your beer outfit?
No, I looked like, I looked tragic.
And everyone's decked out.
Everyone's decked out, wigs to the nines, sparkly makeup done. Like, I looked tragic and I had no songs prepared. And I was like, the only one I can think of off the top of my head is just like, it's a Bob Marley song. And I did the shittiest. I remember getting called in there and I was so over it. I sat there for 2 hours. I was hungry. I smelled like beer. I looked gross. I didn't read the audition. I was like, I'm not getting this. So why don't I just go home? And I walked to the back room and she's like, all right, tell us your name and something you like. And I was like, I'm Emily. I like beer. And like, I just made, no effort was there. I was upset. I wanted to go home. I played the shittiest rendition of the Bob Marley song. And then I just talked about like, I was just like shooting the shit. Because at that point, I didn't care how important they were. The people sitting in front of me, I was just like, I don't know. I like to serve. I'm kind of hungry right now. And like stuff like that. Didn't care at all. She was like, do you have like a dog? Who do you live with? And I was like, why are you asking me such personal questions right now? Like, do you want to know my financial status? Because I'll tell you, I'm really broke. And I go home, I take a nap. I'm like, I bombed that. Like, there was no reason for me to go to that. And they call me back and they're like, hey, this is Buna Murray. And that's the production company that I went to go audition for was the people that shot Keeping Up with the Kardashians Challenge. Like, wow. Some of the most famous reality TV shows they have shot and produced. And they're like, hey, it's us. And we don't think you're right for the singing show. And I was like, why are you calling me? I was like, I was napping. Don't call me with bad news. I was sleeping peacefully. And they're like, but, like, would you want your own reality show? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, we think you're interesting. Do you want your own reality show? And I was like, yeah. About what? They're like, I don't know. We'll just figure it out. And they literally, for the next 3 weeks, I basically lived in that office, interviewing, bringing all my friends in, creating like a teaser clip and getting my life in order for this reality show that was suddenly in my lap, all about me.
Wow.
It was called The Pineapple Diaries. And that's what it was going to be called. And it was, I'm talking professionally, this reel turned out so cool. I thought I was cool after I watched it. I was like, this is entertaining. I would watch this.
That's amazing.
And it was just all about like making it as I want to be an artist. I want to do this. This is my lifestyle. It's different. It's interesting. Enjoy it. And then COVID hit and it never happened because they even had to stop shooting the Kardashians. If not shooting the Kardashians, they're not shooting me.
No.
But it turned out for the best because, my entire life changed when I got home.
So COVID brought you home.
COVID brought me home for what I thought was going to be 2 weeks. And I've been here ever since.
So she comes home.
Yep.
I run into you at the beach within a month of you being home or so, or a couple months.
Yeah.
Wait, when did you get home? Because COVID was announced.
I got home March 20th, I think.
So I literally ran into you within 2 weeks, 3 weeks at most of you coming home. And then she met my fiance, Madison. Mm-hmm. Now you guys are no best friends.
We're besties.
It's very cute. And I honestly didn't expect that because I thought you were going to be going back.
So did I.
I literally was super convinced that you were just here for a little bit. And I told Maddie, I was like, don't fall in love. Don't make a best friend because she's going back to California.
Yeah, no, and it got to the point where like I could have gone back, but I was so happy and it clicked to me because I reconnected with my original manager. I wasn't with him at the time. The one that I'm with now is the person that I was with when I was 18. And we separated for a while and had to grow. And I came back. It was like the best coming back to my roots story that I've ever had. I came back to everything as a completely new person with so much more appreciation for the work and the love that everyone puts in around me. I completely changed my priorities. I wanted to be home. I needed to be with my family. I reconnected with them on a level that I've never connected with them on before because I got to be home for an extended amount of time and I got to be myself. In LA, I was Pineapple Girl.
Yeah.
And every time I would come home,
so you had to come home and be Emily.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't be Emily when I would come home for holidays because I would get too comfortable and I wouldn't want to go back. So I was still Pineapple Girl at home too, which sucked. And I was only Emily behind closed doors. And so I got to come home and be me, and I got to surf, and I
watched you.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Quarantine and COVID was a very healthy thing for me. But I watched you and a lot of my friends, and you tapped in. I watched you surfing. I watched you just being outside all the time.
Right.
Remember, you'd come over to our house, and we shot this stuff out on the beach in the
backyard. We surfed like twice a day.
Dude, through the whole weird stretch of 3 months where people weren't really doing like anything.
We were just surfing.
Everybody was just hanging out.
And making content.
You and Maddie got to hang out, and me and the Grom started working. So it has now been 13 months since you've been home. So,
that was the best thing that ever happened.
So how do you feel? Because now life is getting normal-ish and things are ironing out. I know that you have a new home now. And a lot of your life has changed.
Right. It's perfect. It's perfect. I mean, I met my soulmate. I did. No, I really did. And
I love that.
I have the job of my dreams.
Madison's gonna cry.
Oh God. Don't cry, Madison. I have the job of my dreams, I get to make money doing what I love. And I am back to my roots, even on the music sense. I ran from country music for so long because it was so corny to me. And now that I know what I want, it's like, it's the simplest. It just makes sense. That's what I want. I love it. I love Nashville. I love the people it brings me. I love my team. I love my friends. I wake up every single day and I'm like, who wouldn't want to be me? Not in a arrogant way, but I wake up and I'm like, there's little things and there's big things that go wrong in my life. My dog almost died yesterday, and that sucked.
But you're happy.
Oh yeah.
And you're proud of your setup.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine it any other way, and I'm so thankful. Like, genuinely, I didn't think after that relationship that I was the type of person after that was like, I'm never getting married. Love is fake. I think my friends are my soulmates, and that's where I was. I was like, I'm cool with that because I don't think I could ever be in a position where I can give myself up to somebody again. And by changing my entire life and being in the perfect place, I met somebody who compliments me in every single way and supports me in a way where I am empowered. Not that he's sitting back in the corner saying, yeah, you're hot, you can do whatever you want. He's there on a level where like he'll hold my hands up to the stage and then let me go.
Yeah, I like that.
And those are the kind of people, even like figuratively, you need the people in your corner who are going to hold your hands up until you get to the part where you need to perform something, and they're going to sit there and you can look back and you're like, no, actually, I still want you, like, come on with me. Or you're like, I'm good, but stay right there the whole time.
For sure.
So that I can come off and like unwind. And those are the kind of people that are so rare. Yeah. And Madison's one of them.
Yeah.
You know, she lets you do everything that you want to do in a way that's not separate from her. Because when you have two people who work such different lives, you know, she works in a vet's office, you film. Kai's a firefighter. I'm a singer and I do social media. Like, you couldn't get more opposite, but it's the people who don't make it feel opposite that complement your life in like the most perfect way.
Well, you've said the most important word over and over. You know what word it was?
Was it compliment? Compliment for 200.
Ding! You know, people are not selfish about the wrong things. Mm-hmm. You should be selfish about the person that you share your life with in the right way.
For sure.
The person you're with should never take from you.
No.
The person you're with should make everything better and embrace you.
Right.
And enable you. Take you to somewhere that you, not to say you couldn't be on your own, but it's better because of them.
Right.
I told Maddie that she took heroin and put it in every part of my life. Mm-hmm. And I preach all the time how critically important it is. I just had to have the most morbid conversation of my life. I just had to get life insurance because we're getting married and we have to plan for a future. And you know, that's morbid to talk about, but it's important. And my mom has me and my brothers and my stepdad set up to where, God forbid anything happened, that woman is such a gangster, such a financial gangster, and set her upper for her family. Mm-hmm. I want that. Yeah. And with that, money's just half of it. So the other half
money's important. It's always going to be important, and there's no way around it.
If I die, I need her to be able to pay my bills. That's why we have insurance.
Right.
Then there's the other half. I need Maddie to be Maddie without me. I need Maddie to shine.
Totally.
And then together, that is the difference. We've all had project girlfriends, boyfriends. We've been the project. We've all, like, literally have been in all flavors. But to be with the right person that's not situational.
Right.
Or age-oriented or school-oriented or opportunity-oriented. I always tell Maddie that, like, me and my ex, I feel as if the first few years wasn't anyone's fault. The reason it probably lasted as long and got as deep as it was is because it was a conducive environment. We're freaking kids, dude. We didn't have rent. We lived at home.
Boundaries, you know, like your boundaries need to complement their boundaries. You could be completely compatible with somebody. Like, there's been a lot of people in my life where I have no beef with them. Like, even past relationships, I'm like, the reason why we wouldn't work out is your shit becomes my shit. And my shit becomes your shit. Like, my downfalls have an effect on you. But my downfalls, the things that I come with that are downsides to me, are completely manageable for him. He's like, yeah, I can manage that. Like, everyone's high maintenance in their own way. And you have to find somebody. It doesn't feel like work. Right. You have to find somebody who, even, like, I feel high maintenance. I'll be like, I'm so sorry. You know, for me, like, sometimes I have health issues that I just don't talk about and I deal with by myself, and they're all anxiety related, but I will sit in bed and I have ruined a whole day, I feel like, of something that was supposed to be fun, and I had to come home early because I felt like crap.
Do you and Maddie ever talk about this stuff?
Yeah, we do.
She has to do this for me on certain occasions and stuff.
Right, and you feel like you're ruining it.
I'm sure you already know this, but dude, how awesome that you have a person.
Yeah, and that person says, like, you didn't ruin anything. I'm totally cool with this.
It's not even an ask.
Yeah.
It's not even a thing.
Right.
That is going to let you be you in the most beautiful, organic, healthy, natural way possible.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if my anxiety actually has gotten better or gotten reduced or anything. I just think I care less because she makes me feel okay as I am.
Right.
Completely bright as we are.
Yep.
Which is bewildering.
Yeah.
Because I feel
and you're still going to fight. You're still going to get in, like, bears of a fight. Like, you are going to get to the point where sometimes you're, like, ready to break up. But that's, you know, when you spend 24/7 with somebody, even not 24/7, when you let somebody into who you are, y'all are going to have bad days at the same time sometimes. Or bad chapters at the same time.
I was telling her this, where there's days where I really need her to pick me up or vice versa. Mm-hmm. There's days where we both need it. But the bottom line is that no matter what, it's winnable. We can always win.
It's you guys against the problem, not you guys against each other.
Yeah, and that's why our worst days are still great days, because we have each other. And even when it sucks and we're crippled, it's 7 o'clock at night, we already want to go to the bedroom and just lay down.
Right.
It's not that bad.
Right.
Because where that little zone is.
Yeah, because you guys have found boundaries, and you have that common ground where it's perfect. I always say I say everything's perfect all the time, even when you think it's not, it is. Yeah. And because you are, doing the motions exactly how you're supposed to be in divine timing. Like, he works 24 hours, sometimes 48-hour shifts, nonstop, no sleep, saving people's lives. I could barely handle my dog's blood when he cut his little paw the other day, but like, I couldn't handle gunshot wounds. I couldn't handle an overdose. And they do that 5 times a day, sometimes more. And when he comes home, he just wants a break from it. He wants to be in his happy space, and his happy space is me, Finley, and the beach usually. And for me, it's a mental, I'm in my head, I'm on social media, or, something like I had something happen, it was stressful, somebody's sick, I have to take care of myself. And my happy space is, I don't like to go out on a Friday night. Some people, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just not the person. Like, my happy space is doing nothing with somebody that I can do nothing with in a space I feel comfortable in, which is like beach or home.
That's why I feel like me and you are kind of alike in a lot of ways, because again, that's how me and Madison absolutely operate our life. And we're super stoked for you guys.
Thanks.
It's no, like there is nothing. I have several friends that are in awesome places with their better half, and you see it when you know somebody. And I look at them like, and I pull them like, dude, and it's your friends will be able to tell with you, like what you just said to me, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy to know that I feel like that. It makes me very happy to know that you feel like that.
I have a list. I have a list that I put on my phone before I started dating him. Granted, we haven't been dating, that long, but like it feels like forever, because we're like that. Time goes. Yeah, and I have a list, and it's all of my non-negotiables, things that I want in my partner that I will not live without. And there's no negotiating it. There's no gray area. It's, you have all of these or you don't. And I check them. I've been checking them off. Not that I think that you shouldn't check off a checklist when you have a relationship, but there are things that should be non-negotiables, because that's how you have boundaries. Yeah. And picking a partner isn't all about how you feel. You have to have some logic to it. You have to look at that person and say, this person is going to go through the shitstorm with me. Not because we're so in love, but because we complement each other realistically in every way.
Because you're looking beyond the first week of life.
Yeah. Like you have to, part of life too is falling in and out of love with that person your whole life. Because we're human beings, and naturally we're just raised to reproduce. That's how the cavemen did it. They didn't, feel feelings. They felt horny or they felt not, like it was time to make more babies or it was time to not. And fighting, those kind of natural instincts and realizing that you're going to change throughout your entire life too. Who I am today is not going to be who I am in 6 months or a year after that or a year after that. But going through life with that person and knowing that you can fall in love with them, re-fall in love with them again and again.
Because they'll grow with you.
Right, exactly. And that's, relationships aren't linear.
No.
They're never going to be linear.
Me and Madison's relationship, for the first year, me and Maddie's relationship, I was not focused on my previous relationship itself, but I was hyper focused on trying not to do the wrong things.
Right,
or not
you don't want to replicate it.
I was over analyzing, and I almost made some mistakes during that weird little phase. And so eventually I got to the point to realize I was changing, she was changing, we were both doing things good. It didn't matter. We were doing it together, we were growing.
Right.
It set the foundation. And I don't want to speak too highly, but we're ready for whatever life has for
That's
us.
your teammate. It's your teammate. Essentially, who you choose to do life with, that's your partner in crime. Like you always say, oh, my partner, but that's your partner.
I like that.
That's your literal partner.
I don't think people look at it like that a lot. I genuinely believe a massive portion of people that are married look at this as this co-breeder. I inhabit this home with you, and we're married, but
and you have to feel a certain way all the time.
But they don't take life like a task as a couple to be there and empower each other.
Yeah, You're making the choice when you choose a life partner. You're making a choice to say, on my good days, my bad days, and every chapter in between, you know, I got your back, you got mine. And that's why, like, one of my big things is if something bothers you, if that person disrespects you in any way, or which will happen, that's going to happen a million times. You're human. It just happens. And, you know, you handle it behind closed doors. You don't let anybody know, because that's your partner.
Yeah.
I can say it a million times, but like, you have to view that person as your teammate.
Yeah, and if you go projecting stuff towards your partner in a public space, then it's not a personal goal to make something good from that.
Right.
It's a smear.
If you're on a sports team and your person makes a bad pass or a bad play, or, you know, whatever, they didn't do something to the best of their ability, and you in middle of the game say, like, what the fuck are you doing?
In the middle of the field.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Could you imagine like an NFL game?
Right.
Like targeting someone after they drop a ball?
Whole team goes down.
Dude, can you imagine? Like, imagine if it actually happened.
Right.
It would be madness.
Right. The coach can, because like, but like, your team, you're a team.
No, so I'm talking like savage, and that's. Can you imagine if people actually looked at their relationships like that? And again, dude, I'm guilty. I'm just as guilty as the next guy. And like a huge growth thing for me and Maddie was realizing I had made mistakes with her that I thought I hadn't. Meaning, I was so hyper focused on like, I don't want to fall in love. I don't want to get hurt. Oh shit! What are we doing here? I'm running out of time because I got to get me fixed before she realizes I'm not fixed. And then I needed to just remember that this either was or wasn't the right person at the right or wrong time, and that's not my choice.
Right.
And so, yeah, dude. Cliche as shit, but letting go of the steering wheel and letting life show me that it's got it figured out. And I just got to do. Yeah. Yeah. Like one of my favorite quotes of all time is maybe you can take a piece of this. It'll help you. This helped me a lot. To rest a disturbed mind, you must leave it be. Because imagine a fish tank filled with silt, like light dirt, and you're trying to scoop it out with like a fish net. You're just making it siltier and siltier.
Right, you gotta let it settle. Subtle.
But if you stop, and again, it's so funny how like cliche little things, like I'm a visual person, so when someone tells me something like this is an Alan Watts thing, and he said, if you leave it be, only then will it clear. Right. And I feel like it's a guy thing too, or just like a certain, like not just men, but personality thing where you want to fix things right away. And it's just been this astounding realization of letting go of the
That's a lesson you'll be learning your entire life too.
Yeah, and again, I've been this like, fix it. Like, what? He hurt you and you're not going to do anything about it? I'm going to go do something about it. I've been like that my whole life. And again, it was hard to differentiate because there was times that was a good decision. And I did help people. Right. But if we looked at the statistics, I would say more time than not, my over involvement was not needed. So, yeah, a little faith. And let life do its thing.
If you're type A, which I am, and probably you are too, you're going to want to fix things your whole life. And even if you're thinking it in your mind, like restraining yourself is definitely probably going to be a really good thing for you. Unless it's an emergency situation.
Learning how to do it in the moment. And like animals specifically are like reward based, right? So I'm like learning how to do things I need to do that I don't want to do that are really hard for me. So being in the moment, having a mental fork, knowing what I want to do, knowing it's not right, knowing what the other thing is, and still not wanting to do it, but then committing, it's this weird win for me.
Right. And then it becomes muscle memory. You know, your brain is a muscle.
Dude, if you're going to lie to anybody, lie to yourself about something healthy.
Oh, yeah. Seriously. I wake up every day and I'm like, I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. Like, you are, you know, a bad bitch. You're the hottest girl in the world. You're the most successful. And then I might laugh at myself because I'm like, Emily, like, you look like shit right now.
Yo, people hate the whole fake it till you make it mentality. That is a broad and daily reality for most people because I sure as hell don't wake up every day feeling like what certain people might think I'm feeling or looking like.
I faked my whole career. I faked my entire school experience too. I faked everything.
So my question now is, what's next? It seems to me that you've hit a new... kind of like a new opportunity, I'd like to say. I'd say that your physical environment's changed. Your opportunities have changed. Your mindset's changed. Your people have changed. So What is next, Miss Emily? And not to bewilder your brain with the future, but what do you want? What are you focusing on?
I mean, right now I'm getting a little tired of being the face behind all my social media. Because I am the product currently, and I want to transform the product, what people consume, into an actual product. I think I'm going to start a bikini line. I've already got some samples in the works. I want to transform Pineapple Girl into a business with physical, product to sell instead of being the product that sells,
which is brilliant,
whatever product I'm wearing or drinking or eating.
Well, one day you have to retire, so.
Right, and on top of that, like music, I have no plan for music because my manager and I were born on the same day. We have the same birthday. We were the exact same person, which is why we separated for a few years, because we were the exact same person for a few years.
So you are still obviously pursuing music?
Absolutely. I just shot a whole music video last week for my very first country song, which I'm doing under a new name. It's a secret project. I don't care who finds it. I don't care if nobody finds it. But it's like my passion project. It's what I want to do. I love it. I love the music. I love everything I'm doing, and that's why I'm going to keep it. And I'm going to keep it in its own little world. And that can stay there and be like my healthy outlet for, my creative side. And I'm cool with that. I want music. I want the bikini line. I'm getting my real estate license right now. And, obviously building a future with my person and fitting them into the picture. Not fitting them. I don't want to say fitting because I don't have to fit him anywhere. He fits just fine,
No, but building and structuring your life so that you
right. And now we have goals.
Yeah.
It's not just me. It's not just my goals. It's what are our goals?
His, hers, and ours.
Right. And that's what I've been looking at. And I know exactly what I want my future to look like. I know A and I know Z. It's B through Y that I'm just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna do what feels right.
Well, dude, we're gonna have you on here like every 6 months to a year and get some Emily Zeck life updates.
Yeah, that'll be interesting for me to look back and see.
It will be. I feel like this is a catalyst and a really kind of cool moment to tap in with you.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely a very interesting time in my life because so many things there's so many different moving parts.
I was gonna say, every part of your life has changed.
Right.
So it's cool to kind of reflect on it. And I feel like it doesn't matter who I bring on here, but I definitely think you fall in the category of people are gonna like be just blown away with all the things they learned today about you because yeah, you know how social is. It's a fraction of a sliver.
Sure, yeah.
So I think this was epic. And
I'm excited.
I learned a lot. I'm going to put Emily's information somewhere in this general vicinity. So Pineapple Girl, TikTok, couple million, Instagram, 500,000. You're obviously going to announce your clothing or your bikini line once you have it ready.
Yes,
so
Pineapple Girl Swim.
I'm stoked.
I think.
No, honestly, I think
it
isn't. I was trying to end this damn thing, but I think it is the right fit for you, and I would literally tell you if I did. Meaning, I think you're going to do it right. There's a lot of people that do a lot of things, but I have high faith in you. I trust your vision. I like your eye and the way you do things. So I really do think that you wouldn't just go call it something and you'll be able to do something cool that's yours.
Well, a lot of people want to do something that is theirs, and my whole thing is the only way it's going to work for me is if I like it, and what I want to do right now is be self-sufficient. The reason why I'm getting my real estate license is so I can save on closing costs when I buy my house or other people, and I want to be in that market because that's what I want to do. And bikinis, I surf, I buy bikinis, I need surf-proof bikinis. Why am I paying other people to make my bikinis?
You're solving problems.
Yeah, I'll make my own bikinis. Why am I paying, a crew full of people to do what I can do, what me and my manager can do ourselves with our music and my music career? Why would I pay anyone?
That's the same way we run. That's the reason that we let people scratch their head, because we have 100 jobs in one bedroom.
Right. Why would you want to keep paying rent when you can pay a mortgage on your own house?
Exactly.
If you're financially able.
No.
That's obviously a huge part of it. But like, if I'm gonna pay somebody for something, I would rather pay myself and have it be an investment, or pay the bank for my own investment.
Yep.
I want to pay people that supplement my life. I don't want one-offs. I don't want to pay people who aren't going to put in as much effort as I do. I want to be the one-woman band who can handle it all.
When you do that, you're going to pave the way for success with your future businesses and all your future endeavors. A lot of people try to do this just light switch where they quit their job and try to do something.
Right.
You staying eager and vigilant and doing all these different things is going to like literally dial you up.
Do things that make sense. What do you already like to do? You know, I like to surf.
I was about to say, you like to surf.
I like to make music.
Wear rad bikinis, do cool things.
So let me find a way where I can do that myself, and if other people are entertained by it, they'll consume it.
It is like the only missing piece. You know? Like, think about it. You got everything else going on. You got your music. You got
Unless
all the
Finley for some reason has a reality TV show, then that would just like.
You'd let me know when that drops. I'll be there. I am literally Finley's biggest fan. I love that dog.
I'm also Finley's biggest fan. He's such a cool guy.
Thank you seriously for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I guarantee we are past an hour, so thank you guys 100%. For watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Every single video is going to be here from now on. We're going to keep bringing new people, so let us know what you guys think. Follow Emily. We'll see you guys next time.